Are you trying to find your chesty mix? Maybe you found your head voice. In this video, I'm going to share everything that I know about it and why I don't like the term. My name is Leomaia. I'm a singer and a progressive rock artist. I compose and I sing. In this channel, I share everything that I learned on how to sing high, especially if you have a voice type like mine, which is a baritone, which is a little lower for the style. And it's all about techniques, so let's get started. The number one question that I get is, how do I make my head voice sound beefier? How do I get to the chesty mix? And I think this mindset is actually very harmful. I'm going to tell you why, but let's first define what chesty mix mean and what it does not mean. Mixed voice is the area between your head voice and your chest voice, where you kind of blend the two. This is a very oversimplification of the topic, but is enough to define chesty mix. From that perspective, chesty mix is a mixed voice which is closer to your chest voice than your head voice. And by closer, I mean when you're ascending in pitch and start to mix, you start with the chesty mix. Then you go into a balanced mix, then you go into a heady mix, and then you go into head. Just a natural transition from chest to head, mixing them both and gradually changing registers. But usually when people say, I want to have a chesty mix, they're talking about a very upper range, like A4, B4, C5, and they just want that to sound beefier. And it really depends from person to person where your breaks are. But on my case, for example, at A4, I'm already almost all on head voice. So there is no chesty mix on that range for someone with my voice type. In the end, people just want to sound more aggressive, more powerful. So it's very counterintuitive to pursue a chesty mix, because when you want to sing on that range, you need more head voice. If you're thinking chesty mix, if you're thinking about adding more chest, but you are on that range, you end up yelling, you end up straining, you end up stuck in a belt where you cannot really reach the notes unless you really strain all your neck muscles and you cannot sing e's and oohs. And if you ever experienced what I just described, let me know in the comments below. I think a lot of this has to do with context. You see, in a rock or metal band, there's guitars, there's bass, there's keyboards, drums, and they take a lot of frequencies on the mix. What's left for the voice really is the mid-range to upper mid-range. So the lower undertones of your chest voice, they can't really be heard on a dense mix. If you record a head dominant mix with doublers, compression, EQ, vocal harmonies, you end up sounding huge in context, although you might sound thin when you're singing by yourself in a room with no instruments. I'm going to demonstrate this with Wintertide, which is a power metal song by Jeffblack that has my vocals on it. I know exactly how I recorded it. I'm going to demonstrate here how it sounds like, and then we're going to hear in the mix. And hopefully you will understand what I'm talking about. Before I do that, if you're liking this type of content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, a like, anything helps. And if you like this song, check out Wintertide in its entirety. I'll leave the link in the description. You will also find in the description links to all my music and Jeff's music. The chorus of the song goes like this. Our lambs are locked in ice. Can we break through this wintertide? This is heading mix and head voice. There's no chesty mix here. At the end of this phrase, you can hear how I go completely into head voice to sing the ooh from through this wintertide. I can't belt that, so I just go into head voice. Through this wintertide! The little belt at the end of this phrase with the head dominant mix makes it sound more powerful, so you don't even notice the ooh in context with the mix. Now I'm going to play you the same phrase, but now with the full context of the mix, which Jeffblack did a great job mixing this, by the way. Our lips are locked in hear how that sounds huge? Can you hear how that sounds like a Chesty mix? But in the end, I'm just using head voice and head dominant mix. The second part of the chorus, it's very similar, but there's one little difference. There's a stab at a C5 at the one touch part of it, which is once again head voice, but it sounds big in the mix. And everything around it sounds chesty, although it's not. That stare consumes me. One touch could melt this wintertide. And same thing for the little ending there. Melt this wintertide. It's a lot of head voice and finishes with a nice little heading mix belt. I can sing it very softly on full falsetto. Melt this wintertide. And you can see how closer that is to the actual song than it is to my chest voice, which is what I'm speaking to you right now. I could actually do half the phrase in falsetto and then the little end with a belt. And in context, it might sound like everything is chesty mix. Melt this wintertide. So once again, let's hear to it in context with the mix. So what is the key takeaway that helped me sing this song and other songs in relation to chesty mix? In the end, chesty mix doesn't mean a beefier upper range. It means the part of your range where you start your mix closer to your chest. For me, it's a little lower than that. It's, let's say, the beginning of the chorus from Like a Stone, Chris Cornell. And it's more like, in your house, I long to be. This is already above my first break, so it's mixed voice, but it's very close to my chest, so there's more chest than head voice. That's what chesty mix mean. It's not about going up there and singing beefier. And the main problem that really hurt me in my vocal development with the term chesty mix and why I don't like to use it, but you guys really seem to like it, I see all over YouTube, is because it implies adding more chest voice when it's not what it is. In the end, once you find your head voice in full voice and your mixed voice and it's sounding thin and you want it to sound bigger, what you need to do is not to bring more chest up. Instead, look at your vowels. How are you shaping your vocal tract? How is your space in the back of your throat? Are you using a vowel that's too wide? Are you using the wrong vowel? Do you have the proper airflow? Maybe you're squeezing a lot because you're yelling, you're trying to compress too much. Are you raising your soft palate and getting a nice round shape to your vowels? All of those things are gonna make your screechy, thin, newly acquired head voice into a rounder, more powerful sounding, but still thin and still narrow, heady mix. And then once you put it in the context of a dense band, a mix, and once you put doublers and EQs and compressors and harmonies, that is going to sound how you'd like. Just be okay with sounding thin out of context. And most importantly, you start thin and you embrace it and you learn how to shape it rather than trying to think you can get your chest up there, because that's the worst thing that happened to me. I hurt my voice, I was stuck, and I couldn't really develop my voice. I couldn't really sing the songs that I wanted to sing, and I was just training. Stop thinking chest, think head voice, and let me know if that helped you.